It's the holidays at the White House, celebrating Christmas with new memories every year. And we are getting an exclusive look inside with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden to show you the Christmas decorations and talk about the traditions and the history. As First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden celebrates her first holiday season in the White House with President Joe Biden. She selected a theme inspired by things that connect all Americans. The theme for this year's White House holiday season is Gifts from the Heart. She says Americans across the country inspire and remind her and the president that our differences are precious and our similarities infinite. I'm Suzanne Marques inside the White House. Yes, the actual place where the president and first lady live, and they have decked it out for the holidays. What's wonderful is there's a different theme every year, and this year is really special. The title of the First Lady's theme greets you with glittering stars, Gifts from the Heart, with Santa and his reindeer dropping presents from the sky, flanked by trees dusted with snow, lights, and silver baubles. The sound, smell, and sight of wood fires burning in the fireplaces make you feel right at home. The green room was once Thomas Jefferson's dining room and is now used for receptions and teas. It celebrates the gifts of nature with purple trees and orchids and lush greenery. The beautiful green silk covering the walls was installed by First Lady Laura Bush. The backdrop for beautiful artworks like this piece from 1885, titled Sand Dunes at Sunset, Atlantic City. It's the first painting by an African-American artist acquired by the White House. Henry Ossawa Tanner used real sand among his materials, bringing nature into his work. You're looking at the National Christmas Tree. It is 18.5 feet tall, and this is in the Blue Room, where the theme is peace and unity. Since the Eisenhower administration, the Blue Room features the tallest tree in the house. A chandelier is removed every year to make room for its towering presence. We're in the China Room, which celebrates the gift of friendship and family. And on the Christmas tree, you can see decorations of intertwined hands. They celebrate fellowship and friendship. We're now inside the colorful Vermeil Room. It honors the visual arts and all of the colors, and what's wonderful about this room is portraits of First Ladies overlook the room, and this is the portrait of First Lady Jackie Kennedy. A portrait of Lady Bird Johnson hangs over the fireplace mantel, decorated with greenery and colorful ornaments. The walls are covered in cream, setting the stage for this famous modern painting titled Resurrection by Alma Thomas. President Barack Obama added it to the White House collection during Black History Month of 2015. Next to it, a cabinet display of vermeil, also known as silver gilt, pieces of silver dipped in gold, giving them a luminescent quality. In the Red Room, from the gold ceiling chandelier to the stars springing from the tree and down the beautiful walls, it's the perfect and festive setting to celebrate the gift of the performing arts. Ribbons of sheet music circle gold horns and stars, crimson bows and baubles on the Christmas trees. During the pandemic, with theaters and performance spaces closed, social media helped artists share their art at a time when we needed it the most. The Grand Foyer is the main and formal entrance to the White House and celebrates the gift of faith and community. It feels like stopping by woods on a snowy evening, to quote the words of great American poet Robert Frost. The hallway alcoves depict wintry scenes of life within our towns and cities, and tucked into one tower, the presidential seal. And lighting the path, floating candles symbolize the light we carry into the world. And decorating the White House for Christmas is now officially the duty of the First Lady. But it's a tradition that was started by presidents back in the 1800s. The first Christmas tree went up in the White House in 1889. Our 23rd president, Benjamin Harrison, put up a tree in the Yellow Room, which is right above the Blue Room in the White House. He decorated it with candles, toys, and ornaments to the delight of his grandkids and gave gifts to family and staff. He even dressed up as Santa Claus. The only other president to do so, our 40th president, Ronald Reagan. In 1895, President Grover Cleveland was the first to put electric lights on the tree and created another nationwide trend. At the time, many Americans didn't trust electricity, even though candles often caught fire in the trees. People thought dangerous vapors would get into their homes through lights and wires. The first strand of Christmas lights was invented by Thomas Edison, who of course created the light bulb. But the lights weren't cheap. They would have cost about $2,000 in today's money. By 1903, they were made for the masses. President Eisenhower made it a tradition to receive the National Christmas Tree for the Blue Room, but the first year it saw a tree was 1912. President William H. Taft's children put it up to surprise their cousins while the President and First Lady were on a trip to Panama. In 1923, President Calvin Coolidge started the tradition of lighting the National Christmas Tree. It was adorned with 3,000 lights on the south lawn of the White House. In 1929, decorating the White House became the First Lady's duty. On Christmas of 1933, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave his first Christmas radio address, telling listeners to love thy neighbor as thyself. FDR and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt threw a party for the staff on Christmas Eve in the massive East Room. The East Room is one of the largest rooms in the White House, 80 feet long, often used for receptions and ceremonies. The Roosevelts had cherished family traditions. They lit the Christmas tree in the East Hall with candles, and President Roosevelt read Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol for the grandkids. Eleanor Roosevelt loved to give gifts. She even kept a notebook of names and what she'd gifted people in the past, so she didn't repeat one. In 1961, Jackie Kennedy started the White House tradition of decorating with a theme when she chose to decorate the tree with ornaments from the Nutcracker Suite. And in 1979, President Jimmy Carter lit the first menorah at the White House. Coming up in just a few moments, I go one-on-one with our First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, and the parents of a war veteran themselves. See the special tribute the First family pays to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Military families give the ultimate sacrifice. They give their lives for our country. And so that tree, of course, has a special place in my heart because the Bidens are a military family.
A look at the Gold Star Christmas tree next. The largest room in the White House, the East Room, celebrates the gift of gratitude. Trees are decorated with letters to the President and First Lady that were sent over the past year. These expressions of gratitude are meant to heal our hearts and bring us together. The East Room normally hosts public receptions, ceremonies, bill signings, and memorable occasions. The room also features the most iconic White House artifact, Gilbert Stuart's portrait of George Washington, which First Lady Dolly Madison saved in 1814 when the White House was about to be set aflame during the War of 1812. It was George Washington who, when bidding farewell to the officers of the victorious Continental Army, described himself as having a heart full of love and gratitude for those who served with him in the cause of freedom. This is the East Landing, featuring the very moving Gold Star tree. It features the names of service members who have laid down their lives serving our country. It's the first tree visitors see as they enter the White House. It's brightly decorated with special Gold Star ornaments, bearing the names of some of America's greatest heroes. In the windows, large wreaths hang from golden ribbon covered in stars, overlooking Jackie Kennedy's garden. This tree is a symbol that families of fallen service members are not forgotten. The President and First Lady are part of the military family, and they also lost a son. Beau Biden served in Iraq and later died of brain cancer. Families of service members are all part of the military community, and this is a tribute to the families who carry on their legacies. The Gold Star tree, I know it's been meaningful to you since you were Second Lady.
Yes, it has, and because Joe and I have supported military families for so many decades. Military families give the ultimate sacrifice. They give their lives for our country. And so that tree, of course, has a special place in my heart because the Bidens are a military family.
The term Gold Star originated during World War I. Families displayed banners with a blue star for every family member serving in the armed forces. If their service member died in service, the family replaced the blue star with a gold one. From family turmoil and tragedy to becoming the First Lady. Up next, hear Dr. Biden's inspiring story of accomplishment and her holiday message of unity, healing, and gratitude.
I'm hoping that this Christmas and going forward into the future, that American families feel like they can take a deep breath, feel gratitude, and feel joy as well.
This state dining room symbolizes your duties as an official hostess. Do you serve many meals here?
Yes, this is where all the state dinners and lunches are given.
On Valentine's Day, 1962, First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy gave an exclusive and the first television tour of the White House to CBS, hosted by Charles Collingwood. 60 million Americans tuned in, and the program would eventually be aired around the world and win the First Lady an Emmy Award. While the exterior of the White House has always been stately and grand, she transformed the interiors of the White House. Her detailed restoration of the interiors transformed it into a showcase for American presidential history.
And these pictures, there are 3 of them in this room, the 2 behind us here.
Yes, these 2 were on loan from the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. All 3 pictures in this room are by Healy. There's Thomas Jefferson, a copy after Stewart. And then there's Daniel Webster, who didn't live here, but he visited the White House for 40 years. And then the most famous one of all is this one of Abraham Lincoln, which traditionally always hung in the state dining room.
In 1961, when she moved into the White House, the ground floor was decorated with department store furnishings. To be fair, President Harry Truman inherited a White House that was in dire need of repairs, so the interiors had to be reinforced with steel, leaving little money for decoration. First Lady Jackie Kennedy found a solution by establishing the Fine Arts Committee, sourcing authentic furniture and raising money to purchase it as gifts for the White House. Then Congress passed a law making the White House a museum, meaning any donated antiques and art would stay there or at the Smithsonian when not being used.
And then this tablecloth is new. It's a gift to the White House from the firm of Porto, and it's all embroidered in gold.
Donors knew their investments were safe to stay, and presidents couldn't make major changes during their time at the White House or take treasures with them when the administration changed hands.
I pray heaven to bestow the best of blessings on this house and on all that shall hereafter inhabit it. May none but honest and wise men ever rule under this roof. It was Franklin Roosevelt who loved that prayer and had it put on the mantelpiece.
I just love learning about the history. And when I flew to Washington to see the Christmas decorations and interview the First Lady, she told me we were invited so we could share it with the country. And since you can't go to the White House during this pandemic pause, she wanted to bring it to you. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden at the State Dining Room. She managed to make one of the largest rooms on the state floor of the White House feel intimate and cozy. We stood socially distanced, vaccinated, and tested, underneath the famous painting of the nation's 16th president, Abraham Lincoln.
It turned out to be exactly what my vision was, gifts from the heart. So I'm really happy with it.
And I love the personal touches, from the mantle with all the grandkids' names.
Yes, all the stockings with our kids' names, and you know, the trees have pictures of our families, and all the other White House families are on these trees. They're Christmas pictures.
I love that you picked candidates too. I heard some were taken by iPhones.
Oh yeah.
That down-to-earth charm carries through each room. In this room, official White House china is on display from every presidency, dating back to George Washington. And FLOTUS has the flair of taking something so stately and regal and adding a down-to-earth twist. To see yourself through all of these decorations and to learn more about you, like the china room. Can we talk about the table?
Oh yes, I love decorating a table, and so my mother always, you know, took fresh flowers or anything from our yard and would put it on the table with candles, and I carried on that tradition. And it was funny, the other day my grandkids called me and they said, "Nana, we're making dinner and we're setting the table Nana style." So what I tried to reflect in that table, the gift of friendship and sharing, is that food is love, and it's a way I think that a mother or a grandmom shows her love for her family.
A welcoming spirit is what she hopes to share with the country. Do you have a favorite room or tree or decoration?
I love the tree with the doves. The unity, peace and unity that's in the blue room, because I feel that it really brings a sense of calm, and it's what Joe and I are trying to do in this country, unite the country. All the 50 states and territories are on there.
Peace doves wrap around the tree in alphabetical order, connected.
So I've tried to carry that theme of peace and unity throughout many of the decorations. So you'll see the doves in a lot of the rooms, and the theme of light, because I feel that our frontline workers brought such light during the pandemic. And you'll see it down the main hallway, the theme of light, bringing light after the darkness.
We are still in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of us have experienced loss through the pandemic. You've experienced loss, so has your husband, as the world knows. What are your words to people who might be struggling or dealing with grief this holiday season?
Well, Suzanne, I know that you've experienced loss, and I know what that feels like. And in this past year, we've lost over 700,000 Americans due to the pandemic. And it's been a really hard year. But I hope that going forward that people feel a sense of healing. I've tried to work on that as I've traveled throughout this country. I've gone to over 30 states and listened to people and listened to their anxieties and their fears, but also their joys. And I think one of the things I try to do in my life is find purpose. And I try to find purpose through my work at the White House and what I do as a teacher. And so I think that the President and I are really centered on healing this country and restoring the soul of America.
We shared a personal moment about coping with loss. Virtual hug.
Yeah, no, real hug.
Okay, thank you so much. Because sometimes time does not heal all wounds. So lovely to see you again.
Give your mom my love, okay?
Thank you. This may be a bittersweet holiday for many Americans, but like the lights on the trees and the reflection of the sun in the hallways, she hopes we can all see the bright side.
I'm hoping that this Christmas and going forward into the future, that American families feel like they can take a deep breath, feel gratitude, and feel joy as well.
Now, of course, we're celebrating everything White House, and the Gingerbread White House, it's different this year. It is not the only building on display. Well, check it out, coming up. Look where I am. I'm in the East Landing of the White House. Let me take you around. Up next, a behind-the-scenes look at what it was like to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm sharing it with you next. Since the late 60s, the White House pastry chefs have been outdoing themselves, creating an intricately detailed, candy-adorned house for everyone to enjoy on display in the state dining room. The delightful gingerbread house is one of the sweetest traditions with a rich history embodying the holiday spirit. This year's Gingerbread White House is more like a community dedicated to the nation's frontline workers. Edible miniatures of 8 buildings like the post office, police station, a school, fire station, hospital, gas station, grocery store, they all surround the White House. And of course, the school was a nod to our First Lady, an educator herself. Thank you so much for joining me on this unforgettable journey. However you celebrate, here's to a safe holiday and a healthy 2022.
Look where I am. Are these guys just hanging out? Are these Secret Service? I don't know. But I'm in the East Landing of the White House. Let me take you around. Oh, hello. There's JFK's portrait right there. There's the Red Room. It's iconic and beautiful. And then, I'm not even sure what room this is. Every room is more magnificent than the next. And look at here. Just the Gingerbread White House. I'm pinching myself.